David Lynch's early career as a director is interesting from an artist's point of view. He started off with his debut Eraserhead, which was an uncompromisingly strange experience. Its narrative relies on the viewer being able to read into the symbology to fully understand it. That is one of the most bold things that an artist can do. To put out work that's so esoteric without a care in the world was probably not easy on Lynch's part. Not everyone will be able to understand it fully. He did seem to care to some extent because his follow up films were far more digestible for a wider audience, but it came at the cost of his unique approach to filmmaking. That's where Lynch's Blue Velvet came into play. It strikes a fine balance between strange but easy to understand. I imagine many people who watch this film will just see it as a simple noir crime film, but like most of Lynch's films, there's a deeper, uglier depth to it. The film's opening demonstrates Lynch's strong penchant for creating a dreamy atmosphere. The combination of the song and the bubbly and vibrant scenery is just perfect. A little too perfect, one could say, when it shifts to a nightmarish sequence of Tom having a heart attack, which is followed by a small shot of a group of beetles. The sound design of this part is just excellent. Lynch is very tuned in to sound design and visuals to make a scene like this so effective. The opening to this film is iconic and very subtly hints at the oncoming darkness of the film. Though everything might appear pleasant on the outside, the contents are grim. This type of juxtaposition is usually seen in most of Lynch's works. I think Twin Peaks is another one of Lynch's works that is very similar in subject matter that explores the dark heart of America. This is probably due to his experiences living in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He stated that he had a pretty perfect childhood, one with picket fences and blue skies, until he went to Philadelphia. He stated that it was very corrupt and a very terrifying place to live. He manages to bring that darkness to his films because of his real life experiences with it. As much as he might state that you don't have to suffer for your art, he was clearly traumatized by his experiences living in Philadelphia. Much of the film seems really bland at first until our main character, Jeffrey, stumbles upon an ear. This isn't a typical body part or even corpse you might see in a crime film. You can see Lynch being a lot more restrained with his strange qualities of his films, but he slips some odd moments in here for sure. The shot of the ear is one of the most eerie in the whole film. Jeffrey is another character in this film that has a nice exterior to him, but with a lot of darkness underneath. I imagine a lot of people in this situation would simply flee after finding the human remain, but Jeffrey not only picks up the ear, but takes it to the police as well. He even wants to investigate further in secret with the detective's daughter, Sandy. I think most sane people would back out at this point, but expecting Lynch's characters to be sane is like expecting pigs to fly. One detail that's pretty cool about this film is how the tone shifts based on the time of day. During the day, we usually get these sappy scenes punctuated with nice music, while at night it's silent and usually features disturbing scenes. It ties into the theme of duality in this movie. The characters are literally taking part in the dark aspects of their world. One of the first night scenes that we get takes place in the nightclub, which features the main suspect in this movie, Dorothy. This is where we get some of David's weird leanings. The stage has a dog eating food out of a bowl, and a weird mishmash of a bad comedian with a band. David's letting you know that he's still the one in the director's chair here. A staple of David Lynch's films is an antagonist that feels more like a malicious entity. These are usually the most memorable parts of his works. In Twin Peaks, you have Bob, and in Lost Highway, we have the Mystery Man. And in Blue Velvet, we get Frank Booth. There's a reason why his introductory scene was an inspiration for Pyramid Head in Silent Hill 2. Hello folks, if you're enjoying this video, it would be a great help if you considered becoming a channel member. Tier 1 only starts at 99 cents, and you'll be able to get a couple perks like getting early access to my regular videos. Thank you. Frank is Frank. He's the literal embodiment of everything wrong with the world wrapped up into one person, an agent of chaos, if you will. He's also a large part of why a lot of people find Blue Velvet to be disturbing. Now, I have seen a lot of people saying that his scene with Dorothy is kind of funny, and I guess I can see why. He's a very over the top kind of character, but personally, it doesn't detract from anything that he's doing. He also comes across a bit pitiful here. He's obviously not a good person, but he clearly has some type of mental problem, and it makes you wonder where all this came from. He shifts between cruelty and having sobbing fits. It's disturbing. I think everyone can agree that the dream segments in Lynch's films are some of the best parts, and the ones in Blue Velvet are no exception. Jeffrey continues to go down this dark underbelly of society and gets himself entangled into a relationship with Dorothy. Jeffrey has fully gazed into the abyss, and the abyss has gazed back. He's dumbfounded by what he's seeing, but he also can't look away from it. As he continues to go down the rabbit hole, his morals also slip too, as he gets into a relationship with Sandy while continuing to see Dorothy. He even hits her during the act as well. I could see that there might be some themes of cycles of abuse here. Dorothy says to Jeffrey not to look at her, and it seems that she picks this habit up from Frank. She even repeats the line, "Don't look at me," and I think it could be possible that Frank has also suffered from some type of abuse himself. He can't handle the thought of Dorothy looking at him while he's doing his acts. I'm not sure if this is him being mentally unstable, or perhaps he feels ashamed of what he's doing. He's clearly a character that carries a great deal of pain inside him either way. Perhaps he was also abused when he was young, and that's where he picks the habit up from. The Ben scene is one of my favorites in the entire movie. The lines that Frank's character spits off here are just so good, although he does cuss about as much as a fizzy pop character. Ben is also just so nonchalant and cool as a character, which comes in contrast to the loud psychos on screen. The jump cut at the end where Frank laughs is such a brilliant moment. When Frank takes Jeffrey out for a joyride, we get one of the most important moments where Frank says, "You're just like me." It's a very interesting line that makes you think about Jeffrey's character. Sure, Jeffrey is not quite as abrasive or horrible as Frank, but the two actually share a lot of things in common. I've pointed out that Jeffrey has had ample time to leave his situation, where he could have just looked away the entire time, but he chooses not to. Why? Well, he clearly enjoys the world that he's entered. He keeps looking because he himself says that he likes mysteries. He also cheats on several people during the course of this film. Some people like to draw comparison with David Lynch's works to The Psychologist of Carl Jung. David Lynch and Jung talk much about the unconscious parts of the brain that we suppress. This can be in the form of sexual or aggressive aspects of our personality. I see the concept of the shadow self from Jung's work at play here too. Frank has fully embraced the dark side of the world, while Jeffrey seems to struggle integrating that into himself. Also, on the surface level of this film, it's very bright and vivid with a small community of people, but it's very surface level. Beyond that is a world of corruption and deceit that most people want to just sweep under the rug and pretend like doesn't exist. This is a theme that's commonly explored in the noir genre. This is also classified as a noir film, albeit a very atypical one. It feels very similar to what Lynch later did to Twin Peaks. The final part of this movie is actually pretty tense, with a fight between Frank and Jeffrey. It does feel like it has a strange ending for a Lynch project, though, but it does show how much the film rides between conventional and unorthodox. I was not expecting it to be so cheery and bright. Overall, I would say that Blue Velvet is one of Lynch's best films. It scratches all the right itches and left me feeling pretty satisfied. It's got a decent enough story on the surface level, but has a lot of depth for those who are willing to look.